Are there any drummers in the house?
I play percussion.
That's because you couldn't play anything else.
Shut up.
Come here, dude.
Hey, man. Did you touch my drum set?
Nope.
It's just weird, because seems like someone definitely touched my drum set.
Yeah, that is weird. 'Cause I didn't touch them.
I am warning you right now, if you touch my drums, I will stab you in the neck with a knife.
Not quite my tempo. It's all good. No worries. Here we go.
Hey guys, be sure to subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us positive reviews. So if you could go leave us a nice 5-star review, it really helps out with the podcast. Also, it helps with our rankings. So if you're trying to find us, it's easier to. So 5-star reviews, be sure to go subscribe to the podcast. So go to your iPhone or your Android or whatever you use to listen to the podcast and just go hit subscribe. It's real easy. It takes like 3 seconds. So please go do that, and I will love you forever. Hey guys, welcome back to the Drumheads Podcast, and my name is Daniel, and this is episode 80. Can you believe that? 80 episodes. It's insane. So yeah, this is episode 80 with Melanie DiLorenzo, or you guys may know her as Melanie Joe Drums on Instagram. What a wonderful conversation we had over Skype. We talked about Incubus. We talked about her drumming background. We talked about Incubus again. We talked about both being Sicilian. I'm partly Sicilian. I think she's more Italian than I am, but we talked about that as well. And just a little backstory on if you hear us talking about her like injuring her leg, she had a burn on her leg and was temporarily not playing drums for a little bit till that healed up. So if you hear us talking about that, that's what it's about. And it was just fun to have this conversation because she's the touring drummer for Billy Gibbons Band, which is the guitar player for ZZ Top, so it's a pretty big deal right there. And just how she came about that and all that. And it's a really cool, interesting interview. If you hear at the very end, like my kids like coming in, I had like a little snafu with like work calling me. I'm like, thanks work. And so I had to like stop the recording to get back on, and it kind of delayed. And my kids came in, and there was a brouhaha between the kids. And so I can't remember if I caught that on the Instagram, not Instagram, on the interview. So if you hear kids at the very end, my bad. You know how it is. If your fathers out there, your kids just sometimes have a mind of their own. You can be like, shoosh, shoosh. And they're still like, la, la, la. I think one of them got hurt, maybe. Or no. They were scared. I think I left the door. I think they thought I locked the door before they came in. I left it unlocked. I guess it got jammed. And they were like, my oldest son was freaking out like I locked him out of the house. You know how kids are, very irrational sometimes. But anyways, go follow Melanie Joe on Instagram. She puts up these great videos of her just playing and talking about a very, very nice set of DW drums. She also talks about those on the podcast as well. And she just puts up videos like I do, just of her, just kind of goofing around, working ideas, nothing like, woo, high level video quality and all that. It's just we're having fun and, just putting ourselves out there. So go check her out, go follow her. And just thank you, Melanie, for being on the podcast. So here it is, episode 80 with Melanie DiLorenzo. I mean, if that's not an Italian name, I don't know what one is. So anyway, thanks, guys. See you. Hey, guys. Welcome back to the Drumheads Podcast, and I am joined by Melanie DiLorenzo. How are you?
I'm doing good. Very good.
If everyone is on social media and you follow Melanie, you've noticed that she has her leg.
Yeah.
So how's the leg treating you?
It's pretty disgusting, if you want to be honest. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's disgusting looking. I don't know if anyone follows me on Snapchat, but some people were like, "Can you show us what it looks like?" I'm like, you really want to see that? So I posted it, and people were like, "Ew." I'm like, "Yeah, I told you, it's really disgusting." I'm like, "Well, I don't know why you want to see that."
Yeah, I guess people were like overly concerned, because they were like, "Oh no,"
Yeah.
But which is cool. Mm-hmm. People are at least taking interest in your injury, so
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you get injured, sometimes you have to take a week off of drumming. So I haven't drummed in a week because I can't really walk. So it's good to let your body heal and stuff. Because I had maybe about 2 months ago, I had a little back situation. I pulled my back when I was playing, and so I had to take a week off. And then I went to the chiropractor, and it's totally fine after that. But it's good to let your body recuperate if you have an injury and just relax and not practice for a little bit.
even though it's like probably brutal, just like, oh, I want to play so bad, and
Oh yeah. But like I'll put on music and just like almost like mentally practice stuff. So like I don't know. I just on Apple Music, I downloaded the new Panic at the Disco CD because I saw the performance on Jimmy Fallon. I was like, oh, okay, that sounded awesome. I'm going to check out the whole album. So I was like, okay, I'll just listen to that, and I'll just listen to lots and lots of different types of music. Yeah,
it's a good way to kind of escape a little bit, and just you almost come back with like better ideas sometimes. Like been struggling with the beat, you can be like, okay, now I've had some time to think about it. Let's put it into action. So. Yeah, and also I'll go on YouTube and like I'll look up like drum solos from people like Thomas Pridgen or like Tony Royster, or like recently I've like maybe like a year ago I discovered like Eric Moore. And he's like ridiculous. Like I've seen some YouTube stuff of him, and he's like fast and like I'm like, oh my gosh, like he's like amazing. So yeah, that guy is just bananas, just all like I can't move my one, like I couldn't even move two arms as fast as you can move one arm. It's just insane. Yeah, like I was watching a YouTube thing on him, and he was just like, this is what I'm doing, it's so simple. And so he was slowing it down, and then he sped it up, and then I'm just like kind of like the dumb, like, how are you that fast and that clean at the same time? It's ridiculous how awesome he is. Make it look very effortless for sure. Yeah. And once you get on one of those YouTube like rabbit holes, like you're like, oh my god, I've been on YouTube for 3 hours just watching drum solos. This is what am I doing with my life? But I know it's perfect when you can't walk and you're just literally stuck in bed all day. And I'm like, okay, this is perfect. Here's how kill time. I'm just gonna watch YouTube videos of all these guys I like, and I've also like been going back to like old like jazz guys like Alvin Jones, and like watching drum solos from him, watching drum solos from Tony Royster. I've been checking out some stuff from like Buddy Rich just to get some ideas and things. And so even though I'm stuck in bed, I can't really practice, and I'm still stuck in Florida. Because the doctor, I was supposed to be at NAMM, so I'm sorry to anyone who was like, oh, I wanted to, talk to you at NAMM. I'm sorry I couldn't go to NAMM because of my leg. But, so being stuck in Florida, not being able to practice and being in bed, so YouTube's awesome. Yeah, YouTube is awesome. So it's Netflix, and, are you staying with your mom, or? Yep. I've been in Florida for the holidays since basically around Christmas time. Okay. Which is good. So, you can be like, Ma, I want some whatever, Oh yeah, no, she's great. She's been, chicken noodle soup because I had like a little allergy thing with the leg at the same time. So I'm like, oh, that's no but fun. that cleared up, so that's fine. But it's just how long do you think it'll be till you can start like really playing drums again? I'm guessing I have the doctor said just give it a week and the pain should be good. If I have more pain, then it might be a little nerve damage, to see a doctor back when I get to LA, but I can semi-walk on it. I kind of like have to like limp a little bit. It used to be really bad. It used to be like I would walk and just like scream obscenity. It's alright. I would too, be like, mother... Yeah, but... like... When I was picking up the prescription at like a Walgreens or CVS or whatever I was at, I was hobbling around, and like the minute I stopped, because if I can keep moving it's fine, but the minute I stopped walking, I was like, holy. And my mom looked at me like, Melanie, I'm like, sorry. It's like, if you burned your leg, you would be cursing too. Just yeah. So, and everyone in the Walgreens was like looking at me. I'm like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys. I don't usually. Well, no, I mean,
I don't usually do that in a place with like little kids or something.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
I catch myself at home sometimes. I'll be out, because at work, I let it fly, but I'll come home and the kids are around and I'll like stub my toe. I'm like, oh, son of a... Okay, make sure.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, since we took a little divergence into to the medical stuff, let's rewind and just... Did you come from a drumming background at all, or I mean, like from like family wise? Did you have like family members who were musicians, or?
No. None of my family really. I mean, my mom likes to like sing. Like always remember her as a little kid just singing around the house like stuff, and she always gets the lyrics wrong. I'd be me as a little kid, be like, no, that's not how the song goes. Mm-hmm. Like, no, that's really not how it goes, Mom. Stop. Mm-hmm. But she would sing a lot. My grandmother played piano and like the accordion. Mm-hmm. But as far as that, like my dad's side, no, nothing really musical. I
hear you.
And I mean, my aunt kind of plays guitar and stuff, but like no one really like did it, went into it like professionally or anything.
Mm-hmm. Same way. It's bunch of Italian carpenters and mechanics. They didn't. That's all they did. Build houses and took about cars. That's. Uh-huh. And I don't know what happened to me. They tried to teach me to like build stuff. I'm like, it's not taken, man. But so who was like the first drummer that really like stood out to you?
Well, I remember when I was a little kid, my parents would always play the Beatles. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like in the car. Everything was always the Beatles. They always had that on for me. So I recall this moment. I must have been maybe 4 or 5, and I heard "Come Together." Mm-hmm. Now, as a little kid, you don't know. Like, I didn't know anything about drums. I didn't know really that much, like, on the theory of music or how it works. But I remember tapping on the back of my mom's seat. The rhythm, dun dun da 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 dun da 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 da. So I was doing that on the back of the seat. Now, when I started playing drums and like to now, I like take that like moment in time, like, oh, it makes sense why I wanted to play drums, because I remember that just tapping it, and even like Blackbird, there's that like almost like a metronome like sound that in the song with the guitar. And I remember listening to it, and I liked the way that sounded, even though it was just quarter notes like a metronome. I thought it was like the coolest sound. So. That's how kind of it started. And then also, like, being a little kid, I never watched cartoons. I never really watched, like, the Disney Channel, Nickelodeon. I always watched MTV. Yeah. or, like, VH1 and, like, the music videos and stuff. Like, I really like when they would play, like, the older music videos from, like, the 80s and, like, the early 90s. So I would constantly just, whatever music videos were on, and just, I would always be listening to music. So I didn't know anything about music. I just know I liked it, and that's what I liked to do, and I'd always like to sing along. I thought, like, I would tell my dad, I'm going to marry John Lennon, and we're going to play music together. But then when I was, I guess, maybe, I don't know, 10, my parents had me taking piano lessons. It wasn't an instrument I cared for, but I'm glad I did that, because when I majored in music in college, that really helped out. Yeah. Most of the classes and stuff are basically piano based. So I was like, okay, I know how to read music. I know how to play the piano. Then when I was maybe 14, I started taking guitar lessons. But I was playing clarinet in the band. But after first semester, you could switch to either saxophone or percussion. And so I like being with the boys. So I'm like, okay, I'm done playing the clarinet. It's a silly instrument. No offense to anyone who plays clarinet.
It's all right.
But for me, I'm like, I don't particularly care to sound like a duck anymore. So I'm like,
duck.
A percussion saxophone, which is more cool? I'm going to go to percussion. So I switched to percussion. And once again, I wanted to be with boys.
Yeah.
So then the next year, you could have the option to do jazz band. So there's this drummer. I had a little crush on him. And he didn't like me back, so I was like, he was a drummer in the jazz band, so I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take your spot in the jazz band.
Oh.
And he looked at me, he's like, no, you're not. You're a girl. I'm like, watch me.
Oh.
So that summer, I spent the whole summer practicing.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have lessons till like afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Like after I got into jazz band and my parents were like, oh, she's actually,
She's actually doing this.
Yeah, this could be like something. So I would listen to a lot of music. I would try to follow along. I'd listen to a lot of Beatles.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though what Ringo does is pretty simple,
mm-hmm.
but it's in the pocket and it makes sense for the song.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't do like unnecessary stuff.
Yeah.
So even though a lot of people will rag on Ringo, but if you really listen to the Beatles music, the stuff he does, like with what the Beatles are, it
mm-hmm.
fits perfectly.
Yeah, totally.
So I would listen to that, and I would listen to a lot of jazz. My dad always had like Dave Brubeck on,
mm-hmm.
Take 5,
mm-hmm.
or I listened, a lot of Gene Krupa, a lot of like Max Roach. I listened to a lot of jazz drummers, which is good because
mm-hmm.
obviously going into the jazz band. And the thing about jazz is the time.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people, you can read the rhythm, but the thing is, it's that loose jazz time,
yeah,
right?
That washiness to it, yeah.
Yeah. So it's almost like, even though you're reading it on the paper, it's more than that. It's more of like a feeling,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
which it comes from listening, not, reading music is great, no doubt, but definitely you have to have it in the inside to get the right feel for it.
Mm-hmm.
And it can take you years and years to master that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, some people just naturally can do it, and then some people it takes years, and then some people it's never gonna happen.
yeah. It's like just give up. Not
like,
really, but yeah. Yeah.
But so then I auditioned for the jazz band, and then I'm the one who got it. And then I did one of those things like, I told you.
I bet he felt like just such a turd. Be like, oh, damn it.
I'm like, see, you got beaten by a girl, okay? But that's how I ended up doing drums. There's my competitive side and trying to, if you didn't like me, well, I'm going to take your spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and that it's interesting you started kind of late to the game because a lot of a lot of people start playing when they're 9, 8. Mm-hmm. But you said 14.
Yep, about 14.
So 14. That's a little late to the game, and to show up the guy for jazz band. Just is like whoa.
Yeah, that's my. I would never want to say that music is competitive at all because I don't think of it that way. Mm-hmm. But in certain senses, I'm a little bit competitive.
It's okay.
In certain things.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I don't think like that. The only person I like to compete with is myself.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, I'll go back and look at videos that I posted from like a year ago and be like, oh my god! Like, I'll look at it like, wow, what was I thinking?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
kind of thing. And then I'll be like, okay, at least let's see how each day, each month, like how
you're progressing.
more progress you can get. Because like I've only been playing for, I don't know, roughly 10, 11 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do always practice a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's important.
So when you were in school, what were some of the drummers you were really into when you were in like high school and stuff?
When I was in high school, I really liked Incubus. I still do. Like when I met John Good, when you saw my Skype name.
Well, that was that's an old school reference right there for Incubus fans. And I saw that, I'm like, yep, old school Incubus fan.
The Halakis drummer.
Yeah.
For the longest time before my email was now my name and sounding professional, mm-hmm. It was Halakis Drummer 69. So I was like, my mom would be like, what does that mean? I'm like, don't worry, Mom.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
It's an Incubus song. Don't worry, Mom.
Yeah.
But like when I was meeting John Good at DW and like with the endorsement stuff,
mm-hmm.
I said the first thing I said to him, the reason I've always liked DW's, it's my favorite
mm-hmm.
drum company. You guys make the best equipment. But the second thing is my favorite drummer the one that like, you know, I listened to like everything he did and like learned off of like all the Incubus albums was Jose from Incubus.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and what does he play?
DW. Yep.
DW. So, and he had a little smile on his face when I said that. Yeah, it's like Jose is one of my like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that band. He's creative. You know, he's creative drummer. They're a creative band.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
And I love the Live at Red Rocks DVD. I don't know how many times I've watched that, especially that drum solo with him and Brandon and Ben Kinney. Just like is incredible. I mean, all three of them are just incredible drummers. And then at the end, Jose goes insane. And then when you realize he doesn't use a double bass pedal, he uses just straight up single pedal. You're like, wow, this guy is just killing it.
Yeah, I've seen them live like maybe 7 times.
Mm-hmm.
The last time I saw him was at the Forum about maybe like a year and a half ago or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe I think it was around my birthday, like somewhere in October. And I remember I wanted to get there early.
Mm-hmm.
So I got there early and I stayed in the front row, and the Deftones were opening up for them. And I guess for some people in the front for the Deftones wanted like to start a mosh pit, and like people were getting like thrown around, people were getting in the face. Chino's like, no one's supposed to get bloody at an Incubus concert.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like,
and I know, and this girl was behind me was like, can I just sneak in the front to see? I just want to see the Deftones. I'm like, nope. Nope, I'm 5 feet tall. I'm staying in the front to see Incubus. So I like the Deftones too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It's
but I'm like my feet are stuck right here.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, because Jose likes to turn his drum set so he faces almost he's basically he turns his drum set like basically facing the other members instead of like facing front.
Yeah.
He faces, I don't know what you call it, like clockwise, or like he'll face the left.
Yeah, it's like kind of like almost to the. Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, it's a different setup for sure.
Yeah, which I think is cool because then he can watch the members of the band better. So it's actually a really good idea. So the place in the front where I picked was like right, so I was like viewing him. So it was that was a really good concert. They always put on a great concert.
I saw them a long time ago. It was like 1999, 98. This was the Family Values tour they did with like Korn and Limp Bizkit, and at that point I had heard of them kind of, but it was like a 15-minute set they did, but it was like incredible. I'm like, wow, this is a really great band. And then like they turned around and did a more, it was still heavy, but it was more melodic when it came to Make Yourself, which is probably one of my favorite albums when I was in high school. Starting to date myself a bit. So like I first I don't know, maybe when I was around 9 or 10. That's when I first discovered them. I like saw a music video. I think it might have been, I don't want to say Drive, but it was maybe it was like Stellar Drive, something with the Make Yourself album. I must have been like 10. And then I went to the store and I saw Science and I saw Enjoy Incubus. And then I saw Fungus Among Us in the CD rack when they still had CDs available to buy. Yeah.
So I looked at my mom and I'm like, please, can I have all the CDs? And she's like, okay, we'll do that. So then she got me all the CDs. So I would listen to them constantly as a little kid, even before playing drums. And I was like, this band is awesome. Yeah. And
it's
so that.
it's funny how those 3 or those 4 CDs are all different than each other, which is incredible.
Yeah, each CD that they put out, you could still tell it's them, but they it's like a different sound each time. Like my two favorite is Science, and then A Crow Left of the Murder.
Yes, yeah, that's a very underrated Incubus album in my opinion. Because everybody was feeling kind of like, I'm not sure about this new bass player, you know, who's, you know, is it going to be as heavy? And, you know, I'm like, no, I like it, you know.
Yeah, like Six Out Little World's an awesome song.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, and especially when you see it live, you know, it's even more complex. And they had that weird woo thing the DJ does. So
I think it was nominated for a Grammy. I can't remember if it was a Morning View or A Crow After the Murder that was nominated for a Grammy. I think it was A Crow After the Murder, and I remember watching the Grammys like screaming at the television like, why didn't that win?
Yeah.
I was like, why? Yeah. That was. I'm not sure who won. I apologize if I don't know.
Probably like Three Doors Down or something like that.
But I was like thinking to myself, I'm like, no, that one should have won. That was a great album.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you met Jose?
I have not met Jose. I've met Brandon at a Sarah McLachlan concert though.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So after the I actually posted a picture on like Facebook the other day.
Yeah.
But after the Sarah McLachlan concert, I went back it was at the Greek Theater. I went back to the hospitality room. Mm-hmm. And, you know, you get your wine and, you know, eat your cheese or whatever and mingle with people. And then I was talking to a friend, and then all of a sudden I see this guy come down, and my face was just like... like
someone's talking to you like, Melanie, like, huh?
And I was just like... I was like, oh my gosh, do I go up to him? Mm-hmm. Do I go up to him? And my friend's like, well, just say hi. I'm like, So, like, I went up to him, and I was like, hey, I like you guys' band. Like, Jose is, like, one of my favorite drummers. And he was, like, the nicest guy ever.
That's good to know.
Like, he was like, oh, you play drums. I'm like, yeah, you play drums for Billy Gibbons. That's awesome. I'm like, yeah. And so I'm over here. I'm like, I turned into, like, you know, a 10-year-old being like, I've had a crush on you since I was, like, 10 years old. Don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
But no. He's like the nicest, most awesome guy, very talented singer, very talented artist. So yeah. And even afterwards, like when I was leaving the hospitality room, he gave me a smile. He's like, "Nice to meet you." I was like, "You just made my whole year. Thank you."
Thank you for that, Brandon. You're awesome.
Yeah, I know. Like, thank you. You're like, you know. It's like, yay. But no, I haven't met Jose yet. But it'd be cool to pick his brains on like drumming and stuff because. He's great.
Oh yeah, he's on my like wish list of like big time drummers I'd love to have on the podcast. So yeah. I'm like, please follow me, or you know, I try to get his attention and like it doesn't work. I'm like him and Stewart Copeland, I cannot get their attention to save my life. It's very frustrating.
I could see a lot of Stewart Copeland, or I could see a lot of Stewart Copeland influences in him. Mm-hmm. Have you like? Yeah, because some of the stuff I'll hear, and then like Stewart Copeland, I could see how he probably listened to a lot of Stewart Copeland back, you know, when he was younger and stuff. Yeah.
Have you seen the video of them? It's Stewart Copeland and Andy Summers dropping in and with Incubus playing, I think, Message in a Bottle and something else. That's awesome. Like when I saw it, I'm like, yes, my two favorites on the stage. You know,
I posted that on Facebook like maybe a couple of years ago because I was, like I said, I'm always on YouTube looking for stuff like I want to I like live performances of things, like I like especially like the Police or someone like that, and so I saw that and I was like, this is really, really awesome.
Yeah. And you know, I'm like, if Sting could just been there, it would have been even more awesome, but you know, I'll settle for two of the Police members. So anybody else you were really, you know, into when you were in high school, drummer wise, or?
Also, I listened to a lot of the Mars Volta. I mean, they started coming out when I was like around in like middle school. And John Theodore. You know, so I listened to them, and then when I was, you know, high school, and they got Thomas Pridgen. I was just like, whoa.
Yeah.
Who is this guy?
Yeah, that dude's insane.
Yeah, like, I saw. I'm not sure which late night talk show it was on. But they were playing, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those guys, like he's insanely fast and clean, and he's amazing drummer. One of my favorite drummers, Thomas Pridgen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's a really cool guy.
Yeah, I was, following all the people at NAMM and seeing, and, people posting pictures with him, and, he seems like a really down-to-earth kind of guy, just a fan of drumming and just hanging out.
Yeah, no, he's awesome. And then, like, I like Aaron Spears a lot.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I like, obviously, Tony Royster Jr.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Maybe 2 or 3 years ago, when I went to the Guitar Center drum off,
mm-hmm.
Tony Royster was there. He was playing there, and then
mm-hmm.
afterwards they have like the drum hang. So you go back and talk to him for a little bit. He's amazing. Like,
mm-hmm.
and like I love watching his videos on like Instagram or like YouTube or like wherever, when he posts stuff. He's just like, he was better at like 8 years old than most drummers are when they turn like 40.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I remember when he came out, and I think me and him are the same age, because
mm-hmm.
I'm about to turn 33. So I think
mm-hmm.
he came out relatively around the same time. And that was when I started playing, and I'm
mm-hmm.
like, this kid is that age and he's that good. I'm just struggling just to hold a basic beat, and this guy's just, just going insane.
Yeah, it's like I'm like, how do you do that at 8? Like how like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I've got a 7-year-old. I'm like, there's the drums, go at it, and he goes and he'd play for like 5 seconds. He's like, it's not my thing. I'm like, oh, it's all right, So
yeah, like even when I was teaching kids how to play drums,
mm-hmm.
like I would have students around. I would have some come in at like 3 years old.
Oh wow!
And like I could get them to kind of carry a beat, but after maybe 10 minutes, they lose focus.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, I want to watch a movie, or one. I remember one kid would be always constantly wanting to go to the bathroom. I'm like, you want to go to the bathroom so you can get out of this lesson.
Yeah, it's like I know what you're doing. Yeah.
I'm like, you do not need to pee 3 times in 30 minutes.
If you do, you got a problem.
Yeah. So his mother would be like, no, you don't have to go to the bathroom. Stick with the. So I like put on like Yellow Submarine, because
mm-hmm.
it's a Beatles song. It's relatively not too difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of fun. It has like the cool sound effects, and it's almost like has like a kid type vibe to it.
Oh yeah, totally.
So I'm like, perfect song to teach a little one, especially
mm-hmm.
someone like 3 or 5. But no, it's like after a while, they just like lose their attention.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how someone like that can at 8 years old can like do ridiculous stuff, and
mm-hmm.
like because I know he started when he was like a baby, basically.
Yeah. Because I think it was like his dad took him to a practice or something, and
mm-hmm.
he started playing. He's like, oh, just let him start playing, and took
mm-hmm.
like a fish like water. It was just like, oh, this is what I do.
Guess some people are just, that's what they were destined
to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So you went to when you went to college, so you continued playing drums, and then that was your music was your major in college.
I majored in jazz drumming, basically.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. Now the funny thing about me is when at the certain college I went to, University of North Florida.
Mm-hmm.
It has an amazing jazz program.
Mm-hmm.
But you had 2 options. You could do music performance, which is on the classical side,
mm-hmm. or
you can do jazz. Now the problem with me is I obviously like rock music a little more.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, I could play jazz. I did it in high school, and I listened to a lot. But obviously, I wanted to rock out a little,
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
a little more. Which
yeah.
I mean, it paid. I mean, for me, it paid off.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So I would, I mean, I studied it. I always, got A's on all my assignments or whatever I had to do. But I definitely was more focused on learning other types of music and playing,
mm-hmm.
And like most of the time when I was in college, I was like I really love John Bonham.
Mm-hmm.
So I really love John Bonham. Mitch Mitchell is awesome. Mitch Mitchell, both John Bonham and Mitch Mitchell are influenced by a lot of jazz guys too, and you could hear it in their playing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like Mitch Mitchell and all of his like triplet fills and stuff. A lot of like Max Roach in there, a lot of Alvin Jones in there. So both of those guys are heavily influenced by jazz drummers. Mm-hmm. But John Bonham's like rock feel. Mm-hmm. It's I posted like something on Facebook. I was talking with a friend, and they were telling me how much they hated John Bonham.
Mistake number one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I posted this thing. He's gonna watch this too, and he's gonna be like, "Why did you tell that?" I'm like, Bruce. Well, you said you hated John Bonham, so I'm gonna call you out.
Yeah.
He's a drummer.
And
he was talking to me. He's like, "Yeah, I don't know why people love John Bonham so much. I think he sucks." I was just like, "Okay, Bruce. Okay." So I was like writing this thing, and I'm like, the reason what makes John Bonham is like, if you look at something like Kashmir, which is not, it's a simple, right?
Yeah.
But the drums sound like this slow monster waiting to attack you. It's just like, and the groove, he has like a laid back groove, and it's really heavy. It's like if there's one rock drummer, like the epitome of rock drummers, John Bonham.
Oh yeah, totally, for sure.
Yeah. So I was like, this is what I was like discussing with him, and I put a little bit on Facebook, and everyone's like, how could someone hate John Bonham? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, if you're a drummer and you don't like John Bonham, just keep it to yourself, or
Yeah.
or just like really be like, I love him as a drummer, I just don't get him, that's fine. But to say they suck, that's a little harsh.
And like he does, like, if you're most drummers are right-handed drummers. I'm a lefty. I don't play left-handed. I don't play left-handed drums, but I'm left-handed, but I play right-handed drums. So most everyone, their strong hand is they're going to be their right hand. Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know which direction you're looking at me, but this would be my right hand.
Yeah.
But a lot of John Bonham's fills, he leads with the left.
Mm-hmm.
So that's tricky if your strong hand is your left hand, and then trying to emulate stuff that he does.
Yeah.
It takes a little while to get the left hand leads in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a good thing. It's a fun thing to practice too, especially a lot of his like triplet fills with like the between the hands and the feet.
Yeah. Well, and Ringo played that way as well. I mean, I don't think he was left-handed, but he did lead with his left hand a lot.
Yep.
And that's a tricky thing to learn. I can't do it because I'm like, always like end up clicking my sticks together, or something weird like that. But it is it's pretty amazing. When you really sit down and just like analyze his playing, you really take aback a lot from it. At least I do, and it's a testament to his playing because we're talking about it in 2017, and he passed away back in
the 80s.
So yeah, something like that. I can't remember it a long time ago. So 30-something years later, we're still talking about his drumming. So that says a lot.
Yeah, it's funny because I saw I don't know, at the Greek Theater, his son Jason Bonham does the Led Zeppelin Experience. Mm-hmm. Jason's really good.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was impressed. He he captures his dad's like playing really, really well.
Mm-hmm.
Like he did this thing. So they had on the video screen. They had his dad playing Moby Dick, and then Jason was playing along to Moby Dick as well. And that is really hard to do, playing along to a live drum solo.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because obviously back then, you weren't using click tracks with a metronome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any bands back in the I think this concert might have been the one from, I think it was maybe 1972.
Okay, yeah, there was probably nothing. You had maybe one in the studio.
Yeah, because I have it on a DVD, the drums, the Moby Dick drum solo they were playing in the background. So he's playing along with his father, and like he was nailing it with him and staying right with the recording, and it's live. It's a live. That is really hard. I was like, that's pretty impressive to do, and that was a great concert, and the musicians that were with him, it sounded like you were listening to like Led Zeppelin back in like the 70s.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they're good.
I'll have to check that out on YouTube for sure.
Yeah, it's Jason Bonham's Jason Bonham's Led Zeppelin experience.
Yeah, I hear you. I trip over my words all the time. I'm like, yeah.
I was like, good thing you didn't see because we were gonna do the interview last week, but then I woke up. Good thing I literally sounded like a raspy dude, so
that's the worst, because I've had like podcast interviews and I've like lost my voice. I'm like, I can't do it because I'm talking like Joe Pesci, some like Italian mobster or something like that. Yeah, and it's
it's like tripping on the words is better than sounding.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And well, cool. So after you graduate, how did you get into playing? With established artists, that you're playing with. I was very curious.
Well, basically, I was gigging. I was in college. I was gigging around. I was making pretty decent money. I mean, for being from a teenager to like 21-year-old, making a couple grand a month is actually pretty good.
Oh yeah, totally.
Because most people in college, they're working at like like restaurants or something. I was working on the weekends. Like I'd have like 3 gigs a week, 4 hours, and I'd be making decent money. So Jacksonville, Florida is, if you want to do music and make a living at it, you could make some pretty decent money, especially if you get hooked up with the churches.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because I was playing at a bunch of different churches. So sometimes it'd be really interesting. You get off a gig on a Saturday night at 2 a.m. and then you had to be at church at like 5.
It's the worst.
So basically it was like, should I go home or should I just wait at the church?
Yeah.
There's only a 3-hour difference, so
yeah.
I just go wait kind of at the church, just kind of chill in my car for a little bit.
Yeah. Then you hear like, Melody? You're like, huh? What's going on? Sorry. Yeah.
Because I figured if I go home, I take a shower, fall asleep, I might not wake up.
I know I wouldn't. Yeah.
I might not wake up. So sometimes I'd be like playing, I'd be like, I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm not going to, and I would do 2 services. So I'm like, I'm not going to fall asleep. I'm going to get through this. And I don't drink coffee either. So I'd be like, we're good. But once 12 p.m. hit and service was done, I got home. I passed out for the rest of the day.
Yeah, totally. Well, I remember one time I was playing a church gig, and I kind of did the same thing. Like I was doing a gig late, and then came in, and like for some reason, like the last service, the pastor was just kept talking and talking. I was behind the drums, and I actually did nod off because like I missed the beginning of the song. I'm like, and then they're like, I'm like, huh? What's the huh? Well, okay, yeah, now okay, yeah, I'm in it. Yeah. It's, those gigs are brutal sometimes.
So, but from that, I saved up enough money, from that 4 years of just doing that, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna move to Los Angeles. Like it wasn't like a thing where I like, said like, it's 6 months I'm gonna move to Los Angeles. I literally was like, in 1 week. My mom had taken a trip to see some family in Colorado, and I was like, she's gone. I'm going to plan this out.
Plan my escape.
I'm planning my escape. So she took a trip. I was like getting the stuff. I'm like, I got a U-Haul. I got all this stuff. And then she came back. I picked her up from the airport. I'm like, Mom, guess what? I'm moving to Los Angeles. She's like, excuse me? I'm like, yep, I'm moving to LA. She's like, are you insane? I'm like, nope. See, all my stuff's packed up in a U-Haul. She's like, oh my gosh, what did I do? So then I packed all my drums in the U-Haul and I pulled my car in the back and I drove all the way to LA. Had an apartment for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I only kept the apartment for 2 months because I realized it's cheaper if you stay in your drum studio.
Ah, that's a good tip.
Yeah. So if any musicians want to move to LA, don't get an apartment. My apartment was $800 for like a little box. Mm-hmm. I was like, no. So I had a drum studio, a lockout. Mm-hmm. I ditched the apartment to save money, so I was staying in this lockout, which is actually way bigger than my apartment. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I was ordering like Thai food every night, so it was great. I could have Thai food come in, pizza come in. Mm-hmm. I didn't have to worry about cooking or anything. I had like a camera set up. I had like a little like computer station. I had Wi-Fi. I could watch movies, so mm-hmm. it was way better than the apartment. And so I was like living in lockout, and I could practice whenever I wanted. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I was just networking myself. So I would go out every night, try to meet new people, try to sit in. Mm-hmm. And eventually I got hired by this female band, Dollface, and then I would play in Vegas all the time with them. Mm-hmm. And I didn't want to do it permanently because they wanted someone who wanted to live in Vegas full time at the time. So I didn't really want to do that because I wanted to be in LA. But I was playing with them a lot. It was really fun. We had a lot of fun gigs. We did like Daytona Beach Bike Fest. We did like Sacramento. So they were a lot of fun to play with. And then after that, I got this interesting gig with Corey Feldman.
Oh, that is a very interesting one. Didn't see that one coming.
It was definitely a one-time thing. Uh-huh. But we played at Bonnaroo 2015. Oh,
okay, yeah.
So I did that, and then I went to visit my parents for the summer. Mm-hmm. And then I was kind of worried because I was like, now I don't have any gigs.
Yeah.
How am I making money? I came back, and then I got a call from Billy Gibbons, musical director. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So he was saying, yeah, we're looking for a drummer. Mm-hmm. Would you be interested? And first, he sent me a message on Facebook, and first I was like, is this for real?
Is this legit? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, is someone playing a big prank on me? Mm-hmm. So I went to look at his Facebook. I'm like, oh, okay, he is. Okay. Mm-hmm. So then within about 15 minutes later, I was talking to Billy Gibbons on the phone.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So the previous year, I had saw ZZ Top over at the Greek Theater with Jeff Beck. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And so thinking back to it, I'm like, never would have thought I'd be playing with Billy Gibbons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not to mention like just on the phone with him. Mm-hmm. So I was talking to him, and really cool guy. And like, he wanted to feel me out, feel where I was. Mm-hmm. And I was like, yeah, when I get back, because he was on tour with ZZ Top at the time. When I get back, let's like hang out and let's discuss the outfits for the show. I was like, okay, that sounds awesome. Like I was like thinking, do you want me to audition? Do you want me to play for you? Mm-hmm. But they were looking for drummers on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
Out of all things, like mm-hmm. I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube searching for stuff all the time. So he was looking for drummers on YouTube. Mm-hmm. Him and his musical director, and I think our B3 player, Mike Flanagan, were all like looking on YouTube and finding drummers. They came across me, and
yeah, that's it's the craziest thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so then I met up with him. We went to this outfit shop, and he wanted to know if I liked this type of fabric or this type of fabric, and he wanted to get a feel of my personality too, because a lot of music, it's not just playing. Mm-hmm. You could be an awesome player, but if you're what's a nice word? if you're not a nice person, it's going to be hard for someone to hire you.
Yeah. I hear you.
if you have a lot of
Baggage.
a lot of baggage, a lot of diva-esque qualities, like
Yeah.
no one really wants to work with that, especially if you're the musician, you're the drummer, right? I'm here to make I'm here to make the music sound good, to make the groove in the pocket, to put on a good show. I'm not here to be like, oh my gosh, I need my food at this time, and there's no no, that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You have to, be a nice, easygoing person to work with. So, so anybody listening, keep that in mind, because it's 50% playing and 50% your attitude.
Yeah, it's like you can't be like, I want all my M&Ms separated by colors, and weird, stupid stuff like that. Yeah, it's about the groove, but it's also you gotta be personable, and you gotta be able to like get along with other people.
Yeah. So if you're, and I'm kind of a quiet person, but I'm easygoing. If there's a flat tire, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, this sucks. I'm going to be like, oh, there's a flat tire. Or just chill for a little bit or something.
Yeah, roll with it.
So if you're an easygoing person, just easy to work with, you learn the songs. Another thing people don't do is learn the songs. learn the songs. It's, like, I don't like to fly, so I have a little a week tour in Seattle with this all-female Alice in Chains tribute band called Alice in Chains. Yeah, so to keep my mind off the flight, I'm going to learn the songs on the plane.
There you go. Yeah.
So it's like just learn the songs.
Yeah.
Because like even me, I'll have some rehearsals and people don't learn the songs. I'm just like, oh my god, learn the song. It's really not that difficult. Yeah.
Well, and you don't want to be in there and you're starting like, is it the chorus next? I don't know. And he just makes you look like an ass, in front of everybody, because you're like, oh, it's okay. We're doing the verse twice. Okay, I got it. Yeah.
And nothing's more frustrating, because when we were with Billy, honestly, our rehearsals were more like kind of like hangs. Everyone to get to know each other, but everyone knew their stuff, so we really didn't need to like rehearse too much.
Which is always good.
Yeah, and plus Billy is like an amazingly talented guitar player, musician. So the rehearsals are really, everyone knew what they were doing. So it's awesome when you got to like hang out with each other, got to eat a lot of Mexican food.
Nice.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always had tacos and stuff around in the rehearsal places. So yeah, another thing is be a nice person and learn the songs.
The tips to come away from the podcast: learn the songs and be a nice person.
No, learn the songs. Just be a nice person. Don't be a douche, basically.
Don't be a douche. Yeah, for
sure.
Can
I say that? I can say that. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I don't like. No, you cannot say that. Yeah.
I will try to control the potty. I hang around with a lot of guys. So.
Yeah, I try to cram it back in sometimes. I'm like, I want to say just some awful things sometimes, but I stop myself. Well, cool. Was it like tough going in, and playing with like a seasoned musician like that? Was there like a lot of pressure to?
Honestly, when I was first doing it, I was like the first rehearsal, I was nervous because obviously you're playing for someone like Billy. Yeah. You'd be like, oh my, this is like, it's Billy Gibbons, it's easy top. But then when we started playing, everything just locked in. So then it's like no more nerves, no more anything, and everything sounded, good, and everyone had a nice, vibe with each other. So it was really easy. Like everything was like just, you think of work, you think it should be like hard, but this was probably the easiest gig I've had. I mean, the songs are, you put a lot of, effort in the drumming and make stuff sound good and make stuff, put a little, some fun chops in there. And then we had the drum solos and do a lot of cool things for that. And you put a lot of, a lot of emphasis. Like I would do things like I would stand up and like twirl sticks around, and so you want to entertain the audience. But it was like just super easy and just super fun. Like after the gigs, we'd all just hang out.
Yeah, it was effortless. Yeah,
it's like you didn't have to like, you know, because I would be on some gigs and I would just be like, this is like not fun.
I gotta get the hell out of here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's time yet?
Yeah, holding up the fake watch, you know, like, geez, I've got to go. It's like, you don't have a watch on. You're like, I gotta go.
Like,
yeah.
Or like some gigs, because like we played for an hour and 30 minutes each night, which for me that's easy, because like I would do some gigs and we would play like 4 hours.
Whew. Yeah.
And like it would be like literally an hour set, a 15-minute break, an hour set, a 15-minute break, and like it would be ran on a track. So you wouldn't stop the whole hour.
Okay, yeah.
Go from like song to song to song, and so like being a drummer, you literally do not stop the whole hour. So like only doing an hour and a half, and that to me was, you know, really easy, because I was used to playing like 4 hours a night and
just being wiped out by the end.
No, the bad thing about me is that after I get done playing, I'm like hyped up, and then I go out.
Yeah,
so,
I hear you.
So, like, when I was in Vegas, it'd be really bad, because then I'd go out, because nothing closes in Vegas. So then I would go out and like hang out and like, you know, see whatever goes on at like the grave shift hours.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't get back to like the Vegas house till like 6 a.m, 7 a.m, sometimes 8, sometimes 9.
Yeah.
or I'd be up all night, and then I wouldn't get up until maybe 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And sometimes the girls were like, is she live in there?
Yeah.
She was posting stuff on Facebook at 8 a.m. Is she alive?
Yeah.
So after gigs, I tend to like, you know, don't sleep. I have like Prince's hours, basically.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm the same way. Like I get all amped up, and like I always tell people like I don't hit my stride till like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It's like the whole day is almost gone, and I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling it right now. And they're like, dude, there's like an hour left of work. It's like,
yeah.
I'm like, let's go, let's do it, you know, because I'm not a morning person at all.
Yeah, and like some of my friends and stuff, they're like, you don't wake up till 4 or 5 in the afternoon? I'm like, no. Why do you think my skin's so white? I never see. That was my mom's background.
That's all right.
I'm like, my mom's in the background talking. I'm like, hey, mom, can you shut my door? I'm kind of, sorry.
That's all right. There could be a good possibility that the door would fly open in my house and my kids running in like, Daddy, Star Wars, you know.
But like I joke with him. I'm like, why do you think my skin's so white? I haven't seen sunlight in like ever, in at least since college. So
yeah, I hear you. I'm a night person that has been forced into being a morning person, which is. It's not nice. So I want to talk about your gear, because you have one of the most beautiful drum sets out there.
Yeah. I'm even though it's mine, I'm not gonna lie. What DW made me is absolutely, like, even pictures don't even do it justice. And in pictures it looks beautiful, but in person it looks like just velvet, and like this pretty, it's like a sunburst pink into like natural wood fade back into the pink. And the type of wood I have is it's a hybrid wood, so it's spruce and maple, and then and then it's a quilted maple, so that's why it has that beautiful like velvety look to it. And the nice thing about spruce is that the older the drum set is, the more beautiful the tone sounds. So with spruce is one of those woods, like the older it is, the more richer it becomes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. That's interesting.
And they just introduced this, which is sucks I didn't get to go to NAMM, but this is one of their newest hybrid woods, and they just introduced it at NAMM this time.
Nice. And you have a 23-inch kick, right? Didn't you do the?
Yep.
And that's a very unusual size for sure, because that's what Neil Peart uses. I think is the 23-inch kick. Is that was that something you wanted, or they were kind of like, hey, why don't you try this out?
Well, I was talking with John Good when we were discussing what type of drums I wanted, and I was playing on the Spruce Maple kit, and it had a 23-inch bass. They had in their drum showroom, they had a Spruce Maple kit. It was not the finish was like a natural wood, and I was playing on all the kits, and then I came to the Spruce Maple kit with the 23-inch bass. And I was like, ooh, like the minute I played on it, I was like, I want that one. And then at the time, I didn't realize that the kick drum was 23 inches. I just played on it, and being my height, every drum set looks like I'm basically drowning in it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So because if you see pictures of me, I look really little because I'm like I'm like the size of a 10-year-old.
Well, my grandfather was 5'4", so I'm 5'8" on a good day. So, and I'm the tallest in my family. So, yeah, that's not very tall.
So a lot of people thought it was like a 24-inch or a 26-inch because it just looked so big relative to my size. And then I would explain to them, no, it's 23, and basically it has that big sound like a 24-inch, but it's a smaller, so it's more easier to transport around, and it's almost like the combination of having a 22 and a 24.
Yeah, it's got the focus of like the 22 and like the boom of a 24.
Yeah. And it like when I played on this kit, I was just like, I've never heard a kit sound more, beautiful, ever. And I've had a lot of drum sets. So I was like, this is what I want. So we talked about the custom stuff. Like I wanted and to have gold hardware. So I got the gold hardware because I just think it looks classy with the pink and the natural wood. And me, I like wood. I know some people like to do the acrylic. Some people like metal, steel. I like wood. To me, the best sounding drum sets are always the ones with wood. And I know I was talking to John Good, and he also is very much, he likes the woods, and he likes discovering new woods and stuff. And so I wanted kind of like a pink. And then I wanted to show how beautiful the natural color of the wood was, and then the pink like a sunburst.
Yeah.
And then with the gold hardware, and then I ordered a second drum set. It's which would be more that I would take out for like gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're both collector series, and they're both spruce maple, but the one that you see in like the videos and stuff that's in my drum studio. I would, if that got a scratch on it, I would be like,
someone's gonna die. Yeah.
It's like if it got banged against anything, it's basically that is staying put for recordings and videos and photos. That one's like a beautiful piece of art.
Yeah.
Then I have my other one. It's also spruce maple. It's not quilted maple. It's still it's beautiful. Like, and it also it has silver hardware instead of the gold. And then I have a third one, like it's a frequent flyer kit. So which I like because they're small. So anywhere you need a small drum set or something that you can throw in a car real quickly, I have that. And then pretty soon I'm ordering a Babinga kit.
Ah, Babinga.
Yeah.
That's a great sounding wood right there.
Yeah. In my house studio, I'm setting up with all these instruments and stuff so people can come over and record and rehearse. So I'm gonna order a Babinga kit with gold hardware. maybe like in high school. I saw high school or starting college. Maybe it was at PASIC. One year that I went to PASIC, I saw this beautiful DW drum set. The wood was really unique. It had like the little hole, like not holes, but like little circular detailing in the wood. And I went to play on it. Beautiful sounding kit, beautiful. And it had gold hardware. And I was like, one day I'm going to own that kit.
And you are. Eventually.
Yeah, I'm like, you know, I'm like, sorry, you know, I'm like saving up. I'm like, okay, I almost got enough. Yeah. And plus being an endorsement artist, it makes it a lot easier.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm like, one day I'm owning that kit.
Yeah. I have the dream of owning like a DW acrylic kit. Like that's what I want to like own one day. So, you know, anybody wants to give me a free DW acrylic kit, hook a brother up. But you know,
like Jose has the clear acrylic kit with the gold hardware.
Yeah, and I think that's partly why I wanted one. It's just such a rad looking drum set. So.
Yeah, no, his drum set is really cool looking. Plus he has all like the cool little other drum like octavons.
Yeah,
octavons.
Yeah, I think I forget what DW calls them. Because I know octavons are like the Tama thing,
or like rototoms.
Rototoms, or like I forgot what it is, but yeah, I know you're talking about like the Stewart Copeland looking things. Yeah,
the Stewart.
And and then he's got like, you know, the 8-inch tom like over here, and just At one point he had a marching snare drum on his as the second snare, which is really cool. Yeah, but so another
cool thing that I saw that DW had was a concrete snare drum.
Yeah, I have a friend that has one of those. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I liked the way it sounded. I was like, maybe I should get that one too.
Yeah.
So I might also order one of those in the next in a little bit. I like having a lot of drums.
That's all right. There's no crime for that.
No.
You'll be hard pressed to find a drummer who would be like, no, I've got enough drums. That's enough. That's never ever been said by a drummer. For sure.
Because usually I don't like having, even though the drum set in my lockout, I have a 10, 12, 14, 16. But usually if I'm playing at gigs, I only have a 10 and a 14. I only like having two toms. You know, I like keeping my setups kind of simple. I'll only have like two crashes, a ride, a hi-hat, and that's pretty much it. But I like having a lot of different options. So if I need something, I can have a way to like set it up. So like even with if I wanted to, the drum set in my lockout, I could like add an 8-inch tom. I could, you know, add more cymbals if I wanted to. But a lot of times I just like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm lazy. And if it was nice on tour because we had a drum tech. Thank you, Robbie. Yeah, Robbie's an awesome drum tech. It's nice on tour when you have a drum tech.
Yeah, for sure.
When you don't have a drum tech, then it kind of sucks.
It sucks. You're like, oh, I've got to haul this crap in again. Yeah.
Another reason why I have the little kit with the 16-inch bass drum. Yeah, for sure. It's like...
yeah, it's, you know, I doing those gigs, and, you know, I was like a big, like, Carter Beauford want the big setup, and then everybody in the band's like, really? I'm like, no, I've got to have it, you know, and yeah.
And it's like, I have to get to the gig 2 hours early to set this up.
Yeah. So what about cymbals? You use Zildjian?
Yep. I use Zildjian. I have all Zildjian hybrid cymbals.
Okay, nice.
Except for I have is it 15 or 16? It's either 15 or 16-inch session Dark Crash.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I have an 18-inch Oriental China cymbal, but everything else is from the hybrid series. I really like the hybrid series. I want to get the hybrid China cymbal. Yeah. Yeah, but to me, I like how those cymbals sound, and I like how they look. They look really, really pretty.
They do, and they're a good mix of, you can use them for multiple applications, especially if someone in your position, you could really use, sometimes you need a real light and airy cymbal, but then you really need something with like a little, crack to it, the good bell and stuff like that.
Like the hybrid ride cymbal, you could use for jazz music, you could use for funk music, you can use it on rock music. So it's very versatile. So if you're someone who plays a lot of different types of music, they work perfectly. And the same thing with the hi-hats. You could use it for jazz, you could use it for funk, you could use it for Latin. Those hybrid cymbals are very versatile for everything.
Yeah. And sticks, what kind of sticks do you use?
Usually I use Vic Firth, the 5A pinks.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Reason being, I actually prefer 5Bs better, but I feel like the 5A pinks, I feel like they're just a smidge like thicker to them than normal 5As. Or a lot of the times I'll use Vic Firth, just like a regular pair of 5Bs.
Yeah.
And then I've been using Vic Firth 5BX, which they're a little longer.
Yeah. Okay.
Just because, once again, I'm a little person.
Yeah. You need the extra reach, and then your Evans or Remo for heads.
I'll do either or.
Either or. Okay.
Yeah, I like Remo ambassadors for my snare drum. But for bass drums, I actually like the Evans. Not what is it called? The Evans EMAD.
EMAD for the bass drum.
Yeah, for the bass drum. I really want to try the hydraulic redheads.
Oh yeah, I have the blue ones. I really like the blue ones.
Because I see a lot of people with the red ones, and they sound really good.
I'm a big fan of the blue ones. I like the they've got a nice fat tone to it, very 70s. So it's,
nice.
It's very good. I've been a big fan for. I've been using Evans Remo, Evans hydraulics for probably 15 years. So
oh wow,
it's a good versatile head for multiple applications for sure.
Wow, because I think it looks really 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 cool with the red heads. But on my current drum set, I have Remo. It's coated. Oh, what are they called?
Emperor. Hang on, someone's knocking on my door. Hang on a sec.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
No, it's okay.
I lost track of time, and now the family's home. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I thought I heard a banging on. I'm like, is that the wind or yeah?
But yeah, the heads that I have on my current drum sets are the Remo Emperors, the coated.
Did you hear them?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't know the door. I thought the door was unlocked. They just got home and I guess they thought I had locked the door on them and yeah. You can come back. I'm almost done. You can come back. This is the always the fun part when they're like, I want to be in the thing. So, but so I guess we'll wrap it up here in this real quick. But you want to say hi? Say hi.
Hi.
Aw, hi.
Say
How are
hey.
you doing?
She said, "How are you doing?" He's like, "I don't hear anything."
Hi.
Say hi.
Hi.
Go console your brother real quick. I'll tell me right there, okay?
I'll be right there.
Okay. But yeah. But I always like to wrap up with just this last question: is what is your hobby you do outside of drums, or do you have a hobby outside of drums?
Oh man, I wish I had a hobby. I think does eating count as a hobby?
Sure. Yeah.
I guess eating. I mean, I like trying new foods. So like I'll have like go out and get Indian food, go out and get Thai food, Asian food, Brazilian food. I have like no. I know a lot of my friends have a lot of dietary restrictions, but I'm just like, what, you know? Oh, that looks good. I'll try it.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they'll look at what I'm eating, like, why? How that looks? I'm like, it tastes good to me. I don't know. I'll eat it.
I wish I was that adventurous. I'm not. I'm picky as all get out.
Eating and cooking I like to do, but most of the stuff, or sometimes I'll go on like Facebook and like, this sounds kind of weird. I'm not much of a drinker, but like some of the stuff that they make on Tipsy Bartender looks really yummy. So like I'll like watch stuff and like try to make drinks.
Oh.
Yeah, but like probably drinking, not drinking, but cooking and like making drinks and like stuff is.
Yeah, just trying to figure it out. Yeah, that's always fun.
Yeah, or like I'll go out and like see music every night. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I guess we'll wrap this up, but I appreciate you being on. So where can people find you on the interwebs?
Instagram, Melanie Jo Drums, MELANIE JO, and then drums, and pretty much Melanie Jo Drums is basically Twitter, Instagram. You can find that on Facebook as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, Melanie Jo is much easier to spell than Melanie DiLorenzo.
Yeah. People are like, how do you spell that again? DiLorenzo?
I'm sorry, Italian last names.
I hear it. I trust me, I know.
Yeah.
And any gigs coming up after you get the leg back into recovery?
Oh yeah, like once I get back into LA. Yeah, I haven't posted a video in like a week. Which usually I post lots of stuff. Like I'll do lots of like 15 minute clips on Instagram. Well, some people send me requests and be like, "Can you do this song?" Like, sure. So I'll post like little clips and things like all the time. Cool. But yeah, I should be fine in like a couple days.
That's good. Well, again, I appreciate you being on, and I'll probably post this. Let's see, what's today? It'll probably be Sunday.
Oh, awesome!
So yeah, I'll be sure to tag you and everything. But again, thank you for being on, and I'll have you back on sometime and talk more about Incubus.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you, and I'll see you guys later. So I'm gonna hit stop.